from Mayapur, India, and Mataji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagvatam 7.13. Verse 31 and onwards. So, Hare Krishna Mataji, please take over the call now. Dandavat Pranam.
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहार जय राधा
माधव
कुंज
गोविंद
बिहारी
बिहारी
जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय
गोपी चंद बल्लभ गिरधरधारी
गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन
यशोदानन्दन
ब्रज
व्रज
रज रंजन
रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरथ वनचारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 हरे हरे राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
हरे हरे
राधा माधव राधा राधे
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे
जय पंच तत्वा जय पंच तत्वा जय पंच तत्वा
जय पंच
जय पंच तत्व
जय
जय
पंच
पंच
तत्व
तत्व
जय
जय
पंच
पंच तत्व
जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय नरसिम्हा देव
जय
जय
प्रहलाद
प्रहलाद महाराज
जय
जय
नरसिंह देव
नरसिम्हा
जय
देव जय
प्रहलाद
प्रहलाद महाराज
जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा देवी
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय 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 सुभद्रा देवी
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय 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 प्रभुपाद
जय गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
जय गौर हरि बोल
हरि बोल
हरि
बोल जय गौरव हरि बोल
प्रभुपाद की जय गौर
जय
जय
ओम
प्रभुपाद
नमो
की
भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, The Science of God, Chapter 13, entitled The Behavior of a Perfect Person. We will read from verse 31 and we will cover 31 and 32 today. So I will read the verse which I have here with me, which is 7, 13, 31. Adhyatmikadivirdukhe adhyatim adhyati adhyatmikadivirdukhe avimuktasya karhichit Martyasya krichopanate Martyasya krichopanate Artaihi kamaihi kriyeta kim Artaihi kamaihi kriyeta kim Adhyatmikadibhirdukher Avimuktasya karhichit Martyasya kricho panater artaihi kamaihi kriyeta kim. If somebody wants to sing the verse.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Shamarasika here. Adhyatmikadibhirdurkhair vimuktarasya karhichit मर्त्यस्य कृच्छोपन्नतैरथैः कामे क्रियेत किम्. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I will send this link on our group so that if anybody want to recite. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Anyone else wants to read?
Yeah, most of them are working, Mataji. So.
Adhyatmika Adibhihi. Adhyatmika, Adidevika, and Adibhautika. Dukkaihi. By the threefold miseries of material world. Avimuktasya. Of one who is not freed from such miserable conditions, or one who is subjected to birth, death, old age, and disease. Karhichit. Sometimes. Martyasya. Of the living entity subjected to death. Trichara Upanate, things obtained because of severe misery. Artaihi, even if some benefit is derived. Kamaihi, which can fulfill one's material desires. Priyata, what do they do? Kim, and what is the value of such happiness? Translation. Materialistic activities are always mixed with three kinds of miserable conditions. Adhyatmika, Adidhaivika, and Adhibhautika. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activities, what is the benefit of this success? One is still subjected to birth, death, old age, disease, and the reactions of fruitive activities. According to the materialistic way of life, if a poor man, after laboring very, very hard, gets some material profit at the end of his life, he is considered a success, even though he again dies while suffering the threefold miseries, Adhyatmika, Adidevika, and Adibhautika. No one can escape the threefold miseries of materialistic life, namely miseries pertaining to the body and mind, miseries pertaining to the difficulties imposed by society, community, nation, and other living entities, and miseries inflicted upon us by natural disturbances from earthquakes, famines, droughts, floods, epidemics, and so on. If one works very hard, suffering the threefold miseries, and then is successful in getting some small benefit, what is the value of this benefit? Besides that, even if a karmi is successful in accumulating some material wealth, he still cannot enjoy it, for he must die in bereavement. I have even seen a dying man begging a medical attendant to increase his life by 4 years so that he could complete his material plan. Of course, the medical man was unsuccessful in expanding the life of the man, who therefore died in great bereavement. Everyone must die in this way. And after one's mental condition, and after one's mental condition is taken into account by the law of material nature, is given another chance to fulfill his desire in a different body. Material plans for material happiness have no value, but under the spell of the illusory energy, we consider them extremely valuable. There were many politicians, social reformers, and philosophers who died very miserably without deriving any practical value from their material plans. Therefore, a sane and sensible man never desires to work hard under the conditions of threefold miseries, only to die in disappointment. Verse 32. Asyami daninam klesham lubdhanam ajitatmanam ayat alabdha nidranam sarvatobi vishantinam. The Brahmana continued, I am actually seeing how a rich man who is the victim of his senses is very greedy to accumulate wealth, therefore suffers from insomnia due to fear from all sides, despite his wealth and opulence. Greedy capitalists accumulate wealth under so many miserable conditions. The result being that because they collect money by questionable means, their minds are always agitated. Thus, they are unable to sleep at night and they have to take pills for mental tranquility to invite sleep. And sometimes, even the pills are a failure. Consequently, the result of having accumulated money by so much labor is certainly not happiness, but only distress. What is the value of acquiring a comfortable position if one's mind is always disturbed? Narottam Thakura has therefore sung, Samshara Bishanale Divanesi Hiya Jwale Judaite Nakaino Upaya. I am suffering from the poisonous effect of material enjoyment. Thus my heart is always burning and is almost on the verge of failure. The result of the greedy capitalist's unnecessary accumulation of wealth is that he must suffer from the blazing fire of anxiety and always be concerned with how to save his money and invest it properly to get more and more. Such a life is certainly not very happy, but because of the spell of the illusory energy, materialistic persons engage in such activity. As far as our Krishna consciousness movement is concerned, we are getting money naturally by the grace of God by selling our literature. This literature is not sold for our sense gratification. To spread Krishna consciousness movement, we need so many things, and Krishna is therefore supplying us the requested money to advance this mission. The mission of Krishna is to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And for this purpose, we naturally must have sufficient money. Therefore, according to the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, we should not give up attachment to money that can spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-2-256, Kapanchikaya buddhaya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhihi pratiyaho vairagyam falgu hatyate. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things which are related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, though they are material, this is called incomplete renunciation. Money that can help in spreading Krishna consciousness movement is not a part of the material world, and we should not give it up, thinking that it is material. Srila Rupa Goswami advises, Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upayunjitaha Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Muchyate. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-2-55. Money is undoubtedly coming in great quantities, but we should not be attached to this money for sense gratification. Every cent should be spent for spreading Krishna consciousness movement, not for sense gratification. There is danger for a preacher when he receives great quantities of money, for as soon as he spends even a single cent of the collection for his personal sense gratification, he becomes a fallen victim. The preachers of Krishna consciousness movement should be extremely careful not to misuse the immense quantities of money needed to spread this movement. Let us not make this money the cause of our distress. It should be used for Krishna, and that will cause our eternal happiness. Money is Lakshmi, or the goddess of fortune, the companion of Lord Narayana. Lakshmi ji must always remain with Narayana, and then there need be no fear of degradation. So this is chapter 13, where there is still conversation going on between Prahlad Maharaj and Narada Muni. In chapter 12, Narada Muni started explaining about the various varnas and various ashramas. And in chapter 13, this chapter, Narada Muni exclusively describes the qualities of a person who is in the ashram of sannyasa. And along with that, Narada Muni explains the story of a avadhut, somebody who was practicing what is called ajagra vritti, the life of a python. And python apparently doesn't go around hunting. It just stays in its position, and whatever meal it gets in its way, without it struggling to go and catch it. It's just happy with that. Some days it will get a huge meal, maybe a deer or something will come, and someday nothing may come its way. And the python is happy with whatever comes its way and is not struggling to go with its material life, not struggling with the somehow or other make arrangements for its existence. It's just happy to be where it is and happy to accept what comes its way without struggling. Yeah? So from text 20 onwards, there is this conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and the Brahmana who was practicing this Python lifestyle. So Prahlad Maharaj glorifies this Brahmana and asks him some very interesting questions. Yeah. Oh Brahmana, full in knowledge of transcendence, you have nothing to do and therefore you're lying down. It is also understood that you have no money for sense enjoyment. How then has your body become so fat? Under the circumstances, if you do not consider my question impudent, kindly explain how this has happened. Yeah. So then the Brahmana explains that what is the core message is that if somebody is fat, it means they have had enough to eat. Yeah. And he is someone who is just living in the forest and lying down just like a python. But somehow he seems to have been well maintained. And how is it possible that you are maintained so well? How is that you are able to sustain yourself like that? Please tell me. If it is okay for you, please tell me. And the Brahmana, as an answer to this question, explains how he was in his younger age, before he had some realization, how he was a materialistic man, trying really hard, working really hard to advance materially. And then he has this realization that even though he is working really hard for enjoyment, all he is feeling is suffering. No real enjoyment seems to be there, because in order to achieve that little bit of happiness, he seems to have to go through a lot of struggle. So, like the famous example is how that people, when they want to eat pizza, homemade, we don't go out to buy pizza. Devotees try to cook everything in the home for Lord. So you have to raise the yeast in some warm water, and then you have to make the dough, and you have to leave the dough for hours to rest so it becomes big. And then the dough is made into balls and again allowed to rest till it becomes big. And you have to roll it. You have to buy vegetables, cut them, fry them, whatever, cook them. And then you have to roll out. You have to bake and put and then you take that pizza and you eat. Within 5 minutes, you finish eating. But the preparation has been going on from 8 o'clock in the morning, so that you can have a slice of pizza at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever is your prashadam time. So that is something that this Brahmana is observing, that so much of hard work he has to put. And what he gets in return is very, very small amount of happiness. And then he talks about the nature of that happiness. The nature of the happiness in material world is illusion. It is not real happiness. The happiness in material world is simply a momentary phase when your misery is stopped. Happiness in material world is equal to momentary cessation of material misery. So there is no real happiness that exists in material world. And in order to get that momentary cessation of suffering, you have to do so many activities, material activities. And then from this verse onwards, in verse 31, he is telling the problem with doing such material activity. Yeah? He's saying the problem with doing such material activity is that when you're doing this material activity, you can't just like, okay, I'm going to put my full effort and I'm going to do this activity to the best of my ability. I'm going to get the result and I'm going to enjoy. It will never be like that. You start a material activity, three kinds of kleshas will attack you. Yeah? And the three kinds of kleshas are adhyatmika, means klesha means some kind of suffering, and adhyatmika means something whose source is self. Atmika means your own body, your own mind will trouble you when you start doing an action. Like you say, I'm going to prepare for this exam and clear it with flying colors, excellent marks. And then when you are sitting, oh no, I feel so hungry, I feel so tired, I am sleepy, I can't understand, and it's very hot, I can't study, So your body and mind will trouble you when you're trying to do this activity. And then Adi Deivika. Deva means higher authority. Someone who is who's not you, who is not just you, but somebody who's you're part of a system, like higher than an individual person is his community. Higher than his community is his state. Higher than his state is his country. Higher than the country is the world. Higher than the world are the demigods to control it. So all of those elements come and trouble him. So your community may give you trouble, and your nation may give you trouble. The demigods may give you trouble based on your, as a result of some of your karma. And then you have Adi Bhautika. Bhautika means the material nature. So material nature can give trouble to people in the form of earthquake, flood, epidemic, pandemic. 2 years. Everybody, COVID, everybody was blocked. Normalcy was completely. People were scared to walk out of houses. Everybody was told to stay inside the house. So then when the nature takes the whip, everybody gets lashed, and there's no escaping it. So it is not. So this is the realization that the Brahmana has. I am doing lot of material activities to enjoy a little bit suffering, a little bit happiness. And I'm realizing that the little bit happiness is not actually happiness. It's just a momentary cessation of material misery. And even if I accept to get that little bit happiness, the activities as I perform are constantly bombarded by different types of kleshas, different types of obstacles, including my own mind and body, including the society, the surroundings, the demigods who are around me, including Mother Nature that can inflict pains and miseries that nobody can escape. So after going through, so he's saying after all of this, after going through such misery, what do I get? Let us say I achieve some success. Okay, I'm getting little bit of success. But what is the benefit of getting that success, little bit of success after so much of misery? Because there is a hidden price you have to pay. Here is the knot. Here is the main thing that the conditioned living entity is not noticing. So here is the key message. What is that? If I am going to struggle so hard and be subjected to these threefold miseries and somehow become successful for a very momentary period, this cannot become a true success. Why? Because the activities that I have performed are preparing me for a very, very high level danger. And what is that danger? Birth, death, old age, disease, and the reactions of fruitive activity. In Bhagvatam, karmatmakamena sharira bandhana. This comes in the teachings of Kapila Dev to Devahuti Maharani, to his mom. So the real danger of performing material activities is not the temporary joy or the small amount of joy. The real danger is the nature of material activity colors your consciousness in such a way that you will become more and more inclined to do such material activity. And because of that coloring of your consciousness, coloring of your, Prabhupada uses that beautiful word called coloring of mind in that particular teaching of Kapila Dev. That word coloring of mind is used, coloring of consciousness. The real danger is not small happiness. The real danger is that we develop a proclivity to continuously go on suffering like this. Now we develop a taste that only this we can do. No, it becomes like a second nature for us, that we will continuously, repeatedly accept birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, and we think this is what we are. No, this is the main danger. No, the Brahmana is highlighting that you get that sharira bandhana, karmatmikameva sharira bandhana. You become identifying, you get identification with the body in such a way that you will be willing to go through this cycle repeatedly. So Prabhupada says in the purport, a sane and sensible man never desires to work hard under the conditions of these threefold miseries, only to die in disappointment. So the big plans we make, and we work very, 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 very hard to accomplish these plans. And the result of accomplishment is not really very satisfying. You make a big house, you think, I will live in this house with my children and their wives and my grandchildren. But when your children bring their wives, the wives hate you. They will treat you like a dog. Old age will take over. Disease will take over. You will be put in one corner and you will be given only a small wooden bowl and a spoon. Even though you worked hard to make the palatial house, which they are all enjoying, you who made all of this will be neglected, completely ignored. You will just get some cold porridge and pickle, rotten pickle. That is the reality. So it is not very intelligent. It is not very, anybody who is sane and sensible will know that it is not a very good idea to entangle oneself in this situation, because this situation will only create death, which comes with great bereavement. Great suffering in the heart will come. You will cry. My children are like this. My grandchildren are like this. I did so much for them. They have all neglected me. They have all ignored me so badly. All I can get is one bowl of porridge. So you will feel great. You will die suffering. And after you die, what happens? Your subtle body is taken and your mind map is analyzed to see where you stand, what else you are hankering in. And accordingly, you will be given a new material body. And in that new material body, you will again go through this miserable material activity. And again, you will struggle hard to work and earn and try to enjoy, punarcharvita charvananam, when they squeeze out, they put the sugar cane in the machine and they squeeze out, and only that the pit comes out, just that fiber is remaining, all juice is gone. But somebody is so desperate that they keep on chewing it, little bit sweetness. Some little bit sweetness is there. I want to keep chewing. I want to keep chewing and chewing. like hoping that some sweetness will come out of it. No, so that is the nature of this material activities and the result of this material activity. Even though you may get a little bit of success, the biggest danger is that it will color your mind and consciousness and create a situation of engagement. You will become engaged as if you are in a prison, and you will think, this is what I am, this is what I am meant to do. So then the Brahmana says, in the next verse, the particular purpose is very beautiful. Prabhupada says how even if you become successful, very, very successful, and very, very rich, not like you become little bit successful or get little bit happiness. Let us say you become lot successful. Let us say you become really very rich man because of your good pious activities from previous life. Even if you become rich like that, you will become a victim of your senses. As soon as you get this money, opulence, let us eat big food, let us eat opulent food, let's wear opulent clothes, let us ride opulent vehicle, let us have opulent house, and there is no end to what you want to achieve. The greed, you continuously go on and on and on and on. Even if you become successful, you go on and on and on accumulating wealth. And then what is the result of it? Is it going to make you happy? No. Even if you become very rich, of course, if you are not very successful and you have to work hard for little bit happiness, of course, it's a miserable life. But even if you become successful, the cycle is designed in such a way that in spite of having accumulated so much wealth, you will still feel miserable because you become anxious. Now I have this big house, I have to protect it. I have this big bank balance, I have to protect it. I have this beautiful wife, I have to protect her. I have these children and responsibilities, I have to deal with all of it. And because of that rich man is not able to even sleep in the night. He suffers from insomnia because of fear from all sides. So even if you have, despite your wealth and opulence, the verse reads, he suffers from insomnia due to fear from all sides, despite his wealth and opulence. So you become successful materially or you remain unsuccessful, the end result is that ultimately you will anyways be miserable. And Prabhupada talks about how people who are very successful and rich, they have to take pills, drugs to tranquilize their mind so that they can sleep. Many people, big actors, they overdose on these very pills. Famous people, Michael Jackson, so many people I've heard, they take drugs, the sleeping pills, and one pill is enough to sleep for maybe for 1 year, one pill works. After that, you have to take 2 pills in order to sleep. Okay, the dosage has to be increased because the one pill is not working anymore. And they keep increasing the dosage till it becomes dangerous for the health, and many people just die with the very medicine that they take for relieving their material anxiety. That becomes the source of their death. So it is, if you look in any angle, you can see it is all around miserable. And that is the reason why that Brahmana, who was struggling to achieve something materially, after realizing all this, gives up and accepts the Python lifestyle. Why should I go through this? I'm not dumb. I'm not going to struggle hard and get small success, or struggle hard and get big success and still feel miserable. I'm not going through any of that. So my heart is burning. So much it's burning because of the anxiety which is created by my opulence and wealth, that I feel like I'm in the verge of getting a heart attack. My heart is almost failing. That much of anxiety is filling my heart. So then what is the solution? Whole class is super depressing. So Prabhupada says the solution is getting money naturally. Just get your opulence for the service of Krishna. It is not wrong to be rich. It's not wrong to work hard. But don't use it as something meant for your sense gratification or to satisfy your greed. You should know that these things will only give you misery. If you actually want to be rich and still be happy, to be poor and still be happy, your activities and the results of your activities have to be dedicated for the service of the Lord, for the spreading of Krishna conscious movement. And once you are accepting that idea, then how much ever money comes, it will never be too much, because all of that money can be utilized. Krishna is unlimited. So to serve him is also unlimitedly possible. So all your opulences can be unlimitedly utilized in the service of Krishna. So you can utilize your good karma and which produces a lot of results and use it in Krishna service. Or you have bad karma, you are not able to earn, utilize all your energy instead of working for the senses, work for Krishna. And then, and once you accept that as the mission of your life, you'll become very happy. So there is no need for devotees to think, oh, I should not work hard. I should go into Python mode. I should just lie down and what comes my way, I will accept. We don't have to do that life. Prabhupada is proposing one step higher. Just go and do your life. Do your hard work. You may be successful, may not be successful. Dedicate the hard work for spreading of Krishna consciousness. Dedicate your success for spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. And that is real renunciation. Not just lying down like a python. You can do something better than lying down like a python. Something much better than that. And that is utilizing one's ability and one's opulence in the service of the Lord. And he says, when you do that, you will get so much wealth. Devotees can be rest assured. When we preach, immediately so much opulence will come. And it is not even something you want. You're not going to preach because you want somebody to give you something. You want to preach because you want to spread the mission of Krishna. But a byproduct, a side product is that you will get, Shubhada, Kleshagni Shubhada, all auspiciousness will come. Nectar of devotion, six symptoms of performing pure devotional service. One of the symptoms is Shubhada. You will get all auspiciousness, including of material, money, everything. So that Shubhada is a byproduct, it is a sign that you are performing Krishna consciousness nicely. You'll have good prasadam in house. You'll have nice way of leading your Krishna conscious, not opulent, but correct way of leading Krishna conscious life. You will feel fortune. You'll feel fortunate about how your life is going. You'll feel the presence of goddess of fortune in your life. And you'll feel the presence of the husband of goddess of fortune, Madhava. Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune. You will feel his presence in your life. And if a husband is there, wife will automatically be there. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, will automatically be there. So as long as we can understand that this Shubhada, our auspiciousness in our life, is a symptom of our desire to serve Krishna, and we don't become attached to this auspiciousness, this material, all the good things that come. We get Mayapur, we get fresh milk, fresh garden vegetables, organic vegetables, clean air to breathe, very spacious surroundings for children to play, auspiciousness, all directions, auspiciousness. And it's just a byproduct of performing devotional service. So we should not become attached to this event. We should just focus on serving. And then we will always remain in the service of Narayan. Then there is no need to fear any kind of degradation. We will never go into that loop of karmatmakam ena sharira bandhana. You will stop that repeated birth, death, old age, disease, and the coloring of consciousness that makes you think that you have to keep doing it again and again. No degradation will happen. You can remain fearless. So to summarize, we are talking about the teachings of the Brahmana who practices Python lifestyle. And he has a conversation with Prahlad Maharaj, wherein he shares his realization that material activity, he used to perform a lot of material activities with the hope of enjoying. And his realization is that when you perform material activities, you actually don't get so much, how much work you do, you don't get that much happiness. The happiness is very, very flickering, very, very small. And even when you are acting, you are bombarded by suffering. Your actions cannot be even performed peacefully. They will be affected by adhyatmika, adibhautika, and adidaivika kleshas. Suffering caused by oneself, those who are around you, and the material nature. You will be continuously, you can't just perform the actions even peacefully. But after performing such actions also, what you get as success is very insignificant. But the greatest danger is that these actions color your consciousness in such a way that you become more and more inclined to taking repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. You are inclined to live in the cycle of material existence. And even if you become successful, even if you become materially successful, still you cannot be peaceful, because that material success creates a greed in your heart and creates an anxiety that somebody will come to steal your success. So you will become dependent on pills and medicines and drugs, and people may even die miserably in spite of owing so much of opulence. And continuing the thought, Prabhupada says that the only way one can stop this is if we utilize all our abilities, our desire to act, and all our success and the opulence from the success, everything only if we dedicate in the service of the Lord. And if we do that, all auspiciousness will automatically come to us. And when those auspiciousness comes, please don't become attached to them. Be aware that this opulence is given to you for serving and furthering Krishna conscious movement. And when you become that level, when you come to that level, then you will never have to fear any kind of material degradation. Material degradation means getting a repeated birth, death, old age, disease, or getting the consciousness of wanting to be in material world. None of that degradation will happen. We can be fearless in the material world as long as we utilize everything we have in the service of the Lord. So that is the summary of these two verses with Prabhupada's very beautiful explanation of that. Thank you so much. If there are any comments or questions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much for explaining so nicely those verses. We really like it, Mataji. I don't have any question, but I open the forum to the devotees. Please go ahead and ask if you have a question or comment.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, this is Vinod Maheshwari. Very nice. Thank you very much for taking your time and explaining us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Vedanta Program. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Yes, it's a nice class reflecting upon that the pursuit of the material happiness is basically entangling us more and more into the endless cycle of this material misery, the threefold miseries, and the birth, death, old age, and disease. It's so important to reflect that verse in the Canto 5. I think It was spoken by the Jaravarat. Nunam promotta kurute vikarma yat Indriya pritay aprinoti nasadhu manyatmane vasana pilesha dasa deha. So everybody is doing vikarma and getting entangled in a way, again and again getting kleshada, that is getting bodies that will eventually give them suffering. So because it is so important that, and you said perfectly that how Krishna consciousness is giving you said the three things. One is you said Subhada, and there was Kleshagni. Before that, what was that, Mataji? Kleshagni?
Kleshagni and Subhada are the preliminary to. There are 6 symptoms. Kleshagni means the cessation of material miseries, and Shubhada means the beginning of auspiciousness. Now you will not suffer materially, and you will experience auspiciousness.
And the third one is Mataji?
Kleshagni, Shubhada. I remember Chandran and the Visheshatma and Krishna Akarshachani. That one is for the people who achieved the prema level. These two are for the bhava level, and to take liberation as liberation becomes insignificant. Those
yes.
And you will experience not just auspiciousness, you will experience bliss, spiritual bliss. And then those are in the bhava level. Those two are in bhava level, and then Chandran and the Visheshatman and Krishna Akarshani. Condensed form of bliss. The level of bliss is explained by Rupa Goswami as one like Shubhada means like sugar cane juice. There is still some water there, and then what you experience on a higher level is like when you heat it up, the water is going away, and you get like a little bit more intense syrupy thing, like a syrup of sweetness, and then you that is the level of bhava, the happiness one experiences, and then when it's in prema level, then it is like gur, like solid, no liquid at all. It's like a condensed, tightest form of joy, super sweet form of joy, sweetest form of. So what I am talking about is for the sadhana level. These two are the minimum. These two we can get. Kleshagni and Shubhada. We will feel the material miseries are going away. Even if something is like maid servant is not coming, or you lost something, like you do not feel like, oh, what can I do? So much suffering. You don't feel like that. So that klesha will not affect you. And Shubhada means there will be auspiciousness present in your life. You become a source of auspiciousness. Means your presence will create auspiciousness to others, but you also experience so much auspiciousness in your life. Just in the sadhana level, devotees can experience that. So, and then higher we go, higher will be the other, you don't want to get liberation. And higher than that is the Krishna Akarshani. It's not only you don't want liberation, Krishna becomes attracted to you. Your performance of devotional service is so pure that Krishna turns and looks at you, like, who is this devotee? Prabhupada gives the example of Srimati Radharani, whose personification. The amount of bliss she experiences in Krishna consciousness and the amount of attraction Krishna has for her are so much that Krishna himself personally wanted to experience it. So he became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and adopted the inner mood of Radharani, so he can also experience that sweet, intense, good, like solid molasses, good like sweetness. most condensed form of bliss, and the attraction Krishna feels for the devotees. What is that joy to experience that? Even Krishna himself came as Chaitanya to experience those feelings. So very beautiful, a very beautiful feeling. So that's from Nectar of Devotion.
Thank you, Mataji, for nice discourse.
Thank you, Parvata.
Hare Krishna
We will stop here.
Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. Mataji, beautiful class. So many points to, think and always remember. But I think I was just thinking about, and I'm definitely talking for myself personally, right? There are days where we tend to think a little negative, and then there are days when you're very motivated and you're positive. So I was just thinking, um, the fall down of Bharat Maharaj, right? He was such an elevated person. So when we see pastimes like this in Bhagavatam, um, what sometimes I feel, what hope do I have? Because I'm not even elevated. Uh, so then in situations like this, when depending on what state of mind I am in, I sometimes feel, why even make the endeavor? Because I'm never going to even, you know, reach anywhere with this little endeavor that I'm making. So I guess my question is, Mataji, how do you keep yourself positively motivated and take lessons from Bhagavatam, Srimad, Bhagavad Gita, and tell yourself that, you have to work on the service uh, of the Lord, whether you experience the benefit now or later. Can you speak something on that lines?
First, regarding Bharat Maharaj, he never fell down. Bharat Maharaj did not experience a fall down. He was in Bhava Bhakti. That is something commonly, sometimes we say Parikshit Maharaj did an offense, or Bharat Maharaj fell down, or Arjuna was a coward in the battlefield. Sometimes these people are, we need to have that. It is personally very encouraging for us also spiritually to have that understanding that none of these people actually experience any level of fall down or bewilderment. Um, Bharat Maharaj was in the level of Bhava Bhakti, and in that level of devotion, you see everybody is qualified. Uttama Bhakta, everybody is devotee. And you feel attached to everyone. You don't even think somebody needs preaching. Everybody is a qualified person, So his attachment to the deer simply came from the thought that this deer is also a very exalted devotee of Krishna. I am serving this deer because this deer is also a devotee. So that is why Krishna gave him, even though he got a body of a deer, he never lost his complete consciousness of what happened to him. And then when he became Jada Bharata also, he remembered not only the deer life, but his Bharat Maharaj life also. So devotees, we will never experience any kind of the account only freezes. Even when somebody does Vaishnava Aparad or something like that, like we are trying to do devotional service, and there is constant progress. Even if I lose this material body, if I performed 5% devotional service, in my next life, I will start from 6%, not from 0. So, and even if I have committed Vaishnava Aparad, I have progressed till 45%, I committed Vaishnava Aparad, it will never go to 0. It will become frozen at 45. You cannot progress anymore, So it is like you have the money in the bank, but it's inaccessible, So you need to do something to unfreeze the account, which is begging forgiveness from the devotee. So devotional credit is never lost. Be it for Bharat Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Arjuna, they were all just fools who braved to voluntarily come out to do a very special service of showing the world what can happen to them. And that is not for discouraging, but for encouraging. Because even if you reach some very big position and you fall down, as they call it, you can still continue your devotional life. No, it will pick up from where you left in your previous body, and it will continue. And something which could be very encouraging is also to think what happens when we don't do devotional service. There will be no auspiciousness in our life, and continuously we will be bombarded with the kleshagni, the fire of misery of material existence. For a short period in my life, I have to now and then deal with some karmi people, for the sake of my service. I have to deal with some people who are not devotees. And my God, their attitude towards life, how much they're miserable, like you tell them, can you give me a cup of water? It translates as, how much money will I get if I bring you a cup of water? Everything translates to trying to get something in the material world. And even if you say, all right, if your job is to give me a cup of water, I will pay you monthly this. Even if you give that monthly, that money, they are still so unhappy. They want bonus, they want increment, they want this, like so much of misery, So what could be really encouraging for a devotee is to think, if Gaura is not in my life, what will be? Jodi Gaur na hoite, tabe ki hoite. Jadi Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ki hoito. If Gaura is not in our life, and if Prabhupada is not in our life, what will be our life? When we think of that dimension, we will just say, let me just chant Hare Krishna. I may not progress. I may just be stuck. I may be doing Vaishnava Aparadha and have a frozen account. Whatever it is, I am still on a safer path than being not a devotee. So that will give a lot of encouragement to us, to know that even small progress in Krishna consciousness, the amount of auspiciousness that comes in our life, big progress in material life cannot bring that auspicious.
Thank you so much, Mataji. That was very beautiful and something that I will try to meditate on daily. I was just thinking when you said that it's so important to reflect on the fact that it's important. I think it's important to think that what if you did not have what you had, and then you become more grateful, right? So, thank you so much. That was very, very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for this wonderful class. Mataji, I wanted to ask you, as per Prabhupada, like he said, distribute the books and, make people more aware of Krishna consciousness. Is that higher than helping people? Yes, I just wanted that clarification.
Helping people to do what?
Anyway, if any kind of help that people need, is that distributing Krishna consciousness seems to be what I have understood is higher than that.
Like Mataji,
Yes,
Gita Mataji
absolutely.
wanted to ask, like helping to poor people or needy people. Sometimes we
Yes.
give food or like that, clothes.
Prabhupada gives the analogy of, like you're traveling in a boat and you see a man drowning in water, help, and then you take your boat, and then you like pull his shirt out and squeeze it and put in the boat, and that was so much hard work, So that helping anyone on a bodily level is only like trying to save the shirt of a man who is drowning. You want to really help somebody who's drowning, you should help the person. So the souls are drowning in this material world. and they are the ones that need rescuing. So any help we give should be on the level of soul. No, there is a Mother Teresa famous institute, soup kitchen, free soup to poor people. What soup? Cow soup. She will go to hell. All the people who drank the soup will go to hell because they are all killing cows, as per the Vedic scriptures. Of course, she has done some help per se, but what help was it? You are going to go to hell. The person who bought the meat to you for cooking will go to hell. The guy who cooked for you will go to hell. The guy who served will go to hell. The guy who ate will go to hell. All of you as a whole package are going to hell. And that is the nature of any help we give in material world. It is always like saving the shirt of a drowning man. It can never be a perfect help. But when we help them to revive their Krishna consciousness, automatically, once you save the man and put him in the boat, his shirt also is saved, So automatically the body also experiences auspiciousness. People who chain smoking, cigarette, they give up that habit, they come to Krishna conscious, the lungs revive. Alcoholic people, they drink so much, the liver is affected, they give up that and come to Krishna consciousness, the liver revives, becomes healthy. So body automatically is taken care when the soul is taken care. So we should, yes, always only target to serve the soul. And if we are giving something for their body, it should be only prasadam. We say, okay, I'm going to help a poor person. I want to give him some food. Give only prasadam. Don't give some chicken soup or whatever, those things are not actually helping. Both the giver and taker will go to hell. So we should give, even on material platform, the so-called service to body should always be also targeted so that the soul is nourished. Is that okay, Mataji?
Thank you, Mataji. Very, very beautiful answer. Hari Krishna, Mataji.
We will stop here, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all Guru Shri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I don't have any question, but the answers to our other devotees answered me very well. And the last answer, what you mentioned, was from the words of Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. It is really needed in this age of Kali Yuga. A very nice answer, Mataji. Thank you. It's a very high level analogy what you shared with us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, and thank you, devotees, Padmini Radha Gita Mataji, for your wonderful questions, which always comes in mind, but you express in words. So thank you so much, and you have wonderful answers, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and one more thing, Mataji, in that context, I just would like to, mention one of the explanation what I heard from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj. The same question was asked by someone in one of the programs, and Maharaj answered only in one simple way, saying that if you are helping the jana, means the people, material people, or whoever you are helping, that is really good, but that is the manav seva. And if you are helping the soul, what you mentioned, Mataji, just now, it is the madhav seva. So if you are doing manav seva, you are not doing madhav seva, but if you are doing madhav seva, then you are doing manav seva also. Hare Krishna. I just wanted to share what I heard long time back. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj ki jai.
Yes.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च सिन्धुरेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव ने की जय। नमः दास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। भागवतम की जय। श्री माँ गोपी माता जी की जय। Thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. We would like to have your...
Yeah, more. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna. Hare